What's up, guys, and welcome to another episode of the Ultimate Torture Guide Career Mode in EA UFC 3. And of course, Ultimate Torture Guide is very close to taking on his current rival, Ruslan Magomedov, in what would be by far the biggest challenge of his career so far. You know, somebody who's an actual real fighter, not somebody who's just created, and somebody who actually stylistically could be a problem for him with the grappling. So it'll be interesting to see what he can do there. But right now, he's on like a 4 or 5 fight win streak. So things are looking great for him. He's definitely surpassed the OGT God. I don't really think there's too much to deny about that. And of course, we got some new info on him in the last video. Maybe we'll get something new in this one, but we'll have to wait and see. Let's go ahead and take a look at who's going to be taking on next. We have Declan Patton, which I think is actually a rematch. George Smith, who's 9-7, or Alexander Vasiliev, who is 5-5. So he's not going to be an option. George Smith 9-7 or Patton 6-4. So basically the same difference between wins and losses. So we'll just go with the guy who doesn't have a previous encounter with UTG and see if UTG can get another scalp on his resume. Take a look at the tail of the tape. George Smith is 6'5" to UTG's 5'10". He's 259 as always. The guy is a lot taller but somehow weighs less despite UTG not being fat. And of course the reach difference is pretty substantial, but we've seen UTG get past guys with bigger reaches, I think, before, and guys that have way better stats. He immediately goes in for a takedown and secures it, goes into half guard. UTG, I think this might be like the first, or one of the very first times he's ever been on his back, but he immediately gets back up, so that's going to be an issue for Smith. Now, we know that Brits don't generally have great wrestling, so we'll see if maybe that's going to be his strategy going forward, but he's immediately hurt by UTG, who intelligently is avoiding the ground just because clearly Smith wants to go there. So keeping it on his feet is probably the smart way to do. He's also a smart thing to do. He's also going in with some fuck you kicks just to keep him busy on the ground as well. Oh, he lands a spin kick on his chin. Misses with the roundhouse, which he just actually learned. So new moves have been learned for UTG. Oh, the overhand hurts him. Smith's in deep shit. Oh, the Superman punch didn't land, though hit the spin kick again. Good jab by Smith, but he does take a body shot. And UTG is looking good right now. He's looking crisp. I like saying that a lot because my brother, he doesn't like that, so I keep on saying it. Oh, the overhand, is it over? That's an early knockout for UTG, who puts away his allegedly fellow Brit via knockout in about 2.5 minutes, so solid performance there for UTG. I mean, it's just, at this point, you have to wonder, can anybody stop him? And of course, once he gets to the tougher guys, it'll be a lot harder for him to knock these guys out. But so far, man, he's looking like an animal. Like, this is just absurd. Look at this. The overhand lands with a weird part of his fist, too. At least it doesn't look like it landed the right way, but it was purely perfection, essentially. So Smith goes to sleep, and UTG is the victor once again. That's what, 5 in a row now? Starting to get towards the top. I think the most consecutive wins in the game, right, or when the game was released, was like 17. Yeah, it's 17. So he still has a long way to go, but so far so good. That's a 7th knockout in 8 UFC fights, 7 UFC wins. So he's doing pretty well right now. Still no performance bonus for that. So he didn't really make any money, but it's time to take on Ruslan Magomedov. So I thought his grappling stats would be better, but they're, you know, pretty average. But nothing special for a real fighter in the game. So I think the important thing is that UTG trains the grappling, but there's a big issue, as you can see in the top right corner. He doesn't have enough money to actually afford a full camp. So he's going to have to do a 2-week camp and hopefully get a good performance and maybe get a performance bonus and survive to the next one, make as much money as possible. But yeah, that's not what you want to have to do, is going into the biggest fight of your career so far and not being able to afford a full camp.
Hey everybody, I'm Megan to leave you with your UFC Minute. In a recent interview, Ultimate Torture Guide went really hard in the paint on anybody, including media, fans, Dana White himself that were accusing him of being the original torture god. He said it was completely retarded for people to think that anybody would go to England just to pump himself full of steroids, stay there for a few years, to basically be completely forgotten, only to come back a new man in a new weight class and dominate. I personally believe this motherfucker is actually OG Torture God, and I want you to let me know what you think of him, and I'll see you in the next UFC Minute, you motherfuckers.
Thank you, Megan. It is time for a fight that definitely is going to be very anticipated. Magomedov versus the one and only Ultimate Torture God. The size difference actually isn't too big this time. 6'3" as opposed to the usual 6'5/6'6" UTG's encountered lately. He's actually a lot lighter too. So this could be, from a physical point of view, actually favorable for UTG. If he's fast enough and he can avoid takedowns and just kind of dominate in the clinch and things like that, then he should be perfectly fine. UTG starting off with a lot of uppercuts, trying to put him away early. Especially because the camp during sparring said the most important thing to avoid is going into the early second round and allowing Magomedov to dictate the pace. That's where apparently Magomedov is at his best according to the game. Tie clinch, the knee lands straight to Magomedov's nose. Great shot by UTG, who has consistently shown throughout his career so far that when it comes to the clinch, he is excellent, which something that the OGTG never really showed. So good improvement here from UTG. Continuously improving. Look at the head kick too. That's an excellent tool to have added to his repertoire. Remains to be seen what other moves he could actually learn. He's supposed to be training with Gokhan Saki, so technically there's a lot he could definitely learn. Magomedov is getting caught by a lot of shots, but he lands an overhand of his own, and he went in for a head kick, but UTG intelligently kept his hands up, blocked it, and what didn't really take too much damage from it. Magomedov lands a good leg kick too. Has to watch out. Oof, body shot from Magomedov, but the body kick lands very, very good, very well for UTG. Body spot response by Magomedov, who's starting to find his range, find his rhythm, and landing a lot of good shots. Goes back to the clinch. He stops UTG's transitions twice, which is terrible for UTG's stamina. UTG lands a good little shot. Nothing that's really going to do any damage, but enough to distract Magomedov, but he does end up on the ground regardless. Goes to full guard, and he's able to get up. That's important. That's really, really, really important. Oh, the head kick lands. Okay, he break out of the clinch. UTG lands a good shot. A very, very good shot, of course, while eating one, but the uppercut lands. He puts him down. Is it going to be over? It's not enough. Magomedov gets back up to his feet, but they're against the fence. And UTG has shown multiple times he can do a lot of damage in the clinch against pretty decent fighters too. So, he's pressuring him, but he gets spun. And Magomedov is in a dominant position. Can he do something with it? UTG goes to the tie clinch, but with his back against the fence, there's not really much he can do from there. So Magomedov survives, and he gets into the tie clinch of his own. He lands a knee to the leg. Doesn't do too much. And to UTG is able to break out of it. Well done from UTG. Oh, what a combo! Magomedov stumbling backwards, doesn't land with the spin kick. The head kick, though, does land, and Magomedov is hurt once again. UTG misses with a couple of shots. That's a real shame because he could have put him out in the first round. Magomedov goes straight back into the tie clinch. He wants to land a knee, but he's not able to, and that's the end of the round. So definitely a very, very good round for UTG, and this is where he has to worry because theoretically Magomedov is going to be very, very good early on in the second round. So we'll see if he's able to stop him and maybe even potentially put him away, because right now he's done a lot of damage. He's been the superior fighter, and I don't really think UTG's taken any devastating shots. He's taken a few shots that stumbled him a little bit, but nothing to really hurt him too badly. So unless stamina becomes a problem, he should be fine. But of course, it's very likely that stamina will become a problem. But right now we're seeing some really, really good shots from UTG. And Mario Yamasaki kicks off the second round. Magomedov wants to touch gloves. That's not going to happen with UTG. That's not even the thing that crosses his mind. The biggest issue for UTG in general is that reach. That 72-inch reach is terrible at heavyweight, and it keeps him from able to land on these much longer guys. Pause. Magomedov continues to back up. I expect him to be pressuring a lot more. And there he goes. He lands the knee. UTG's in danger. The head kick doesn't land, thankfully, but he gets caught by a good right from Magomedov, who is really starting to fire on all cylinders. Just like the corner said, he's going to be strong early on in the second round. Looks like their prediction was on point. UTG has to keep his defense well. Oh, he hurt him again. Magomedov could be finished here. He gets rocked, sent to the ground. UTG not able to go to the ground and finish him. But Magomedov's in deep shit. Good knee there, actually, from UTG. Oh, but he gets caught by a good combo, and the head kick lands. Thankfully, he's able to keep Magomedov in full guard. And he gets straight back up to his feet. Alright, this is where it gets interesting. Because, oof, UTG has done a lot of damage, but he's taken a beating to start off the second round. But he hurts him. He sends him to the ground with a spin kick, and it's over. What a fucking fight there. Magomedov really turned it around at the beginning of the second round after being beat down in the first one. But UTG is able to stay up on his feet, or at least for the most part, survive. Not take too much damage. I mean, he did take a bunch, but he didn't take too much. You know, it was just enough for him to be able to put away Magomedov. Look at this. Perfect spin despite being really close. But the reach isn't just a problem with his punches, it's also for his legs. So he does kind of have to be a lot closer than his opponents if he's going to land the kick. Magomedov, to be fair, blocked it well, but he just took so much damage earlier on that the force was enough to send him packing. And the ground and pound, as always, is merciless from Ultimate Torture God. And that's the biggest win so far of his career. It wasn't easy, but it was definitely a really, really good win. Of course, they're probably not going to go in performance bonus because the UFC despises him, apparently. But that's 8 knockouts and 9 UFC fights, 6 consecutive wins. Still doesn't have many followers, but he's not too worried about that. Longevity is actually surprisingly good at 79.8, so basically 80%. So he still has a long way to go in his career, despite taking a little bit. I guess technically hasn't really taken too much damage. He has had some wars though. So 27 for show, 30,000 for win for a contender. It's not good money, but it's better than nothing. So we can take on 40-13 Rothwell, 6-12 Williamson. Like, what the fuck, man? How is this guy even in the UFC if he's 6-12? Look at the stats too. Absurd. So of course Ben Rothwell gets the nod. Not just between for his record, but also for where he's ranked. It's a good step forward for UTG. Moving forward towards the title shot. And this is going to be a difficult matchup for him. At least from a physical point of view, Ben Rothwell can give a lot of people a lot of problems. Especially a guy like UTG who doesn't have very good defense. So all it really takes for Rothwell being so big and so thick and so fucking juicy, is basically one shot. And there you go. UTG immediately gets caught by an uppercut, and Rothwell looking good to start it off. But he gets caught by a body shot. And take into consideration that in camp, as you see right there, UTG did a lot of training with Gokhan Saki and really got good body kicks. He has level 5 body kicks now. And he also has a perk to where if he lands a body or a head kick, he does a shit ton of damage. So Rothwell's hurt early on. Really taking a beating. He started off strong with that uppercut, but other than that, he hasn't done anything. Literally hasn't landed a shot. Oh, he lands a good counter on the Superman punch, but UTG sends him to the ground. Is it over? 1 minute. That's all it took for UTG to win this time the biggest fight of his career. Magomedov was big, but Rothwell is a guy who was getting dangerously close to a title shot not too long ago. Actually, when this game came out, Rothwell was, I think, just coming off of a tough loss, but he was very dominant there for a while, getting a lot of early knockouts and having some of the worst promos cut after a fight. I mean, just the evil laugh he was doing, the bullshit music he was walking out to. It was super cringe, but it was effective. Unfortunately for him, just like in real life, in the game, he has been stopped by the immovable force of nature that is Ultimate Torture God, who, of course, is getting even closer to a title shot. Rothwell was ranked 11th. So, remains to be seen where exactly UTG will be going next, but the only thing we do know is that he's going straight up and he's going straight for the top. His current rival, taken into consideration, is Derek Lewis, who I feel like is actually a good matchup for UTG. He's a guy who's going to want to stay on the feet. All he has is power. He doesn't have good defense, he doesn't have good cardio, he doesn't have good grappling. So, UTG has a great chance, and look at that, 101,600 credits go into the pockets of Ultimate Torture God for a Performance of the Night bonus, and of course the win bonus, and of course there's 27,000 that he gets just for showing up. And of course Megan Olivier is extremely bewildered and just shocked at the performance. And of course, UTG, but not too braggadocious, unlike the original Torture God. So, that's it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell, which is the best way you can support a small channel like mine. And let me know in the comments, guys, what you think is the ceiling for Ultimate Torture God, because as of right now, he looks like he could potentially be the greatest of all time in the game. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you next video.